thinking outside the box to get to the heart of Wilmington's violence issue. That's what a University of Delaware professor did when he trained a group of men and women who were either caught up in life on the streets or criminal justice system. He had them collect data from residents in 2 Wilmington poverty-stricken neighborhoods. What he does with that data is our first look this week. It's called the Participatory Action Research Project. Many call the study an intervention experience designed to direct some of those data collectors to better opportunities.
I think by me probably being part of the problem, now I wanted to be like part of the solution.
Dennis Watson, one of 15 men and women who hit the streets to observe and interview residents over a 2-year period, now has a different perspective on life despite his past, after collecting more than 520 surveys from the street corners of Wilmington's Southbridge and Eastside neighborhoods.
Like I spent most of my year, my youth, my adolescence, all the way up to my young adulthood incarcerated due to poor decision making.
But thanks to Wilmington's Participatory Action Research, also known as the PAR Project, Dennis Watson, who grew up in Southbridge, now wants to mentor at-risk youth. The PAR Project proves to be more than a research experience, but about activism as well, requiring action in local communities.
If we're going to help guys caught up in the streets, if we're going to help guys caught up in prisons, then we're going to have to actually come up with a robust program that provides new and fresh opportunity, livable wages.
Dr. Yasser Payne of the University of Delaware brought the model to Wilmington that has changed the lives of many, such as the data collectors who were able to get information that some experts aren't able to get.
You know, you're not going to tell someone outside of your community that both your parents are on drugs and that you're the breadwinner in the house and you're 18, 19, 20 years old.
It's that kind of information that Pat Gibbs, a former loan shark and hustler, was able to get people to open up about. What he learned even motivated him to self-publish 2 books because of the PAR Project.
You have a community or neighborhoods that are under siege, right, by the structural systems. Right, so you have communities that are sustained in poverty or structural violence, right? And for us, and what we found in the study is that structural violence is predicting the violence in the city.
However, decreasing such structural violence is challenging, especially when one major thing in a community is missing, according to Dr. Payne, which he sums up with one word: jobs.
Oftentimes, particularly older guys, understand the risks that are associated with the streets, right? So jail, physical injury, and/or death. They're not actually blind to those consequences. Given their situation and their context, those consequences, right, are seen as worth it.
Worth it because there aren't enough jobs in the community, not even to employ people with some type of criminal background. And Payne says those minimum wage jobs, like the ones often found at fast food restaurants and factories, aren't working.
I think it is possible to develop a partnership between civic and political leadership and black youth and young adults caught up in the criminal justice system in Wilmington. I think Wilmington is small enough where all of those forces can kind of converge.
In the report, there are 17 recommendations under multiple target areas, such as structural opportunity, physical violence, street outreach, as well as a number of other strategies under law enforcement, ultimately thanks to the hard work of the PAR team.
And now they understand the communities in ways that the experts don't. And that puts them in a unique position that allows them to have a certain level of power or cachet. And our thing is, let's just build on that momentum.
As for Watson, where would he be if it wasn't for the PAR Project? And is jail really seen as rehabilitation for prisoners? Watson says that's surely not always the case.
I think the influences that Yasser gave me was more so the push that I needed. Because I could have got out of jail and with the things I learned in there and still went for the negative.
Dr. Payne says no research in the state's history has the kind of data that was collected during this project that began in 2010. And you'll get to check it out when the information is released on thepeoplesreport.com on Monday, September 16th. This story was done in collaboration with our content partner, Delaware Today magazine. Mark Nardone, who met with the PAR team for his story, joins us now. Welcome, Mark.
Hi,
In your story, you call the project a mirror the community can hold up to itself. Explain.
It's like the Michael Jackson song, which is really the sentiment of Gandhi, be the change that you want to see in the world. Part of what the project is about is revolutionizing people's thinking, which starts with a good look at yourselves and at your community and us all being honest about the way things are and why they're that way.
Now, I hear a lot of the PAR team members went on to bigger and better things. Some even work for the University of Delaware. That's a good thing. Can you give us a rundown?
Sure. Just to mention a few, one is enrolled as an undergrad at the university. One is working on his doctorate in criminal justice at the university. Another is working on his master's at Wilmington U. More importantly, I think two of the guys have been hired by two of the biggest employers in the state. So the project has succeeded on a couple of fronts by, one, showing people what opportunities are available to them, and maybe more important, showing people who are in a position to hire and give jobs that having a felony conviction or a certain kind of past is not the sum total of who somebody is or what they're capable of.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.